Hey, how's it going, my friends? I just wanted to talk about The Breaker and just my current thoughts on the series and how it's going. But yeah, I hope you do enjoy this. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And join the Discord. We be hanging out, watching movies together, all sorts of things. So, without further ado, I think that currently The Breaker's mid. All right, gotta keep it a bit. I don't know. The Breaker's mid. Obviously, these are just 13 chapters that I'm basing this on, but I don't think this is particularly a strong start. So, when I look back at The Breaker and The Breaker New Waves, it feels like while I think that The Breaker Season 3's opening chapters are better or have a lot more going on than the other two, just based off of the backstory that we now have from 2 seasons of The Breaker so far. I also think that those chapters are more gripping in those first 2 seasons. I think that the start is really good. The Breaker Season 3 start is better than both of them, but I think the way it handles just scenes in general is worse than how it was in The Breaker Season 1 and Season 2. So every time that there's a just impactful scene, there's a scene where stuff is going on, it feels as if the action just stops. It doesn't feel exactly cohesive like it has just before. And this may be for multiple reasons. It's a new character, so the author is just figuring out, hey, how am I going to do this character? So yeah, maybe this will go away with time, maybe it will improve, but just at this current point, any scene with new characters just doesn't really do it. But let's talk about just how I appreciate what it does do. So I really do appreciate how it's trying to set up this dynamic that, this is really like how it was for when the Nine Arts Dragon started taking Siwoon under his wing. It wasn't intentional. He didn't want him to become just, in all this danger because of the Muram. He just got jumped in there because, I want it to be nice, so I'm just doing it, and just as a byproduct, this happened. And I do like how it is replicating that, but at the same time, I will praise it for this. I will also say it feels sort of flat just based on it being a repeat. Now, obviously, it being a repeat in and of itself isn't bad. It can be perfectly fine if the dynamics are different, if the purpose it serves is to highlight something like, for example, a character growing. So I do think that, this scene can work and these scenes can work, but the problem I'm really having with these scenes is it feels like the author is doing this, but he's not actually going all the way and paying homage to it. So obviously he is doing very similar things to what the Nine Arts Dragon did, but with his character and how he actually acts, it just doesn't flow. It just doesn't feel like it did with the Nine Arts Dragon, obviously because he is a separate character and because he has different factors that go all into how he chooses to approach the situation, differing from the Nine Arts Dragon. But the end result of it is that, I get what you're doing and I really like it, but outside of me getting what you're doing, it doesn't actually land. It's like me watching The Last Airbender and me seeing the effort they put into it, but also being like, well, it doesn't actually hit. Obviously, that's an extreme situation. The live action Avatar The Last Airbender is actually dog. I'm only referencing this because I watched a video on it recently, but that's besides the point. So on top of this, it's also the art style. The art style really is not doing it for me, I'm not gonna lie. And that coupled with our boy Siwoon, I'm not gonna lie, bro, he looking kind of weak. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. That man was on demon timing before. This man ended boxing the 9 arts freaking dragon himself. And then he's just out here being like, no, Jessica. I'm just like, bro, come on. I want my boy acting weak. We saw how he was at the end of the Breaker Season 2. He should be way beyond this. He should be on demon timing. But nah, maybe this will be revealed in the future, but obviously this is just the first 13 chapters. All wrapped up. It feels superficial. That's what it basically boils down to. The Breaker Season 3 feels superficial to me. It feels like a Krabby Patty, but it's one of those gummy Krabby Patties, and what you're actually looking for is the Krabby Patty secret formula. You're trying to be under plankton stuff and out here munching on that, bro. You're trying to go under the sea, SpongeBob SquarePants. That's what you're trying to do. But what you're coming up with is some freaking 7-Eleven freaking Scooby Snacks type stuff, bro. Bootleg Scooby Snacks, some gummies. That's what it basically feels like. I hope anybody enjoyed this rambling about the Breaker Season 3, and just drop what you're feeling about it in the comments, because I do see, yeah, this has a lot of potential, but I do also see that it can just come off lackluster like these chapters have, sadly. Like, it doesn't flow, so the tension isn't actually built up properly. It feels like the tension goes up, goes up, goes up, pauses, goes down because it's pausing. Like, oh, it's a tense situation, but it's just like, you know, it's just not played as it should. In the Breaker Season 2, we have a lot of tense scenes. In the Breaker Season 1, we have a lot of tense scenes, and it's riddled throughout the entirety of it. And it feels like the author's trying to re-get that. I haven't particularly looked into Trinity 7 or Trinity Wars or whatever series that the author was working on while he was on hiatus from the Breaker. Like the series he went into, Trinity World, I think it was, actually, not all these other names. But I haven't actually looked into it, and maybe this is something that's part of that, which may be a problem. I'm not too sure yet. With that being said, let me stop rambling. I do hope you enjoyed this, and goodbye.